He checked his CIBIL score 14 times last month. He doesn't have a loan application. He doesn't have a credit card pending. He has no financial reason to know this number. He has an addiction. That is the reason. The CIBIL Score Trap. How a three-digit number was designed to control you. It is not to protect you. Here is what nobody tells you. The CIBIL score was never designed to protect you. It was designed to keep you trackable, predictable, controllable. A three-digit number that reduces your entire financial existence into a rating and then convinces you to worship it. This video is a forensic audit of what that number actually is. Not the brochure version, not the finfluencer version, the behavioral architecture underneath. Who built it? Who built it, what it exploits, and how to recover something the system never intended you to have. Psychological sovereignty over your own financial mind. Credit scoring began in 1956. Fair, Isaac and Company. Later, FICO built a statistical model that promises something revolutionary. Remove human bias from lending decisions. Replace the bank manager's gut feeling with an objective algorithm. That is the official story. Here is the behavioral story. The same year, FICO launched a separate branch of psychology, was developing a framework called operant conditioning. B.F. Skinner had demonstrated something unsettling. If you reward a behavior unpredictably, not every time, but sometimes, the subject becomes more compulsive than if you reward it every time. The unpredictable reward creates a deeper attachment than the predictable one. The credit score system was never designed as a pure risk assessment tool. It was designed as a behavioral modification engine, a mechanism that rewards compliance and punishes deviation. But the punishment is invisible, the reward is intermittent, and the combination is the most addictive pattern ever discovered by behavioral science. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. The same mechanism that hooks you to Instagram likes have been or has been wired into your credit score. The score goes up, dopamine hits, reward pathway activated. The score drops 5 points, cortisol floods your system. Your brain registers a threat it cannot fight or flee from. It can only check again and again and again. This is not an accident of the design. It is the design. Now section 2, the dopamine architecture. Let's go deeper into the mechanism. Your CIBIL score updates once a month, not daily, not in real time, once. And you cannot predict the number accurately. You can estimate, you can calculate, but until TransUnion publishes the refresh, you do not know. This is a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, the most habit-forming reward structure in existence. Casinos use it, social media platforms use it, and your credit score is built on it. The psychology is precise. When you know exactly when a reward will arrive and approximately what it will be, your brain habituates. The dopamine release diminishes. You stop caring. But when the reward arrives unpredictably and its magnitude varies, that is when the compulsive loop forms. You check, you hope, you crash, you check again. Now, add the Indian dimension. In India, the CIBIL score is not just a number. It is a social document. It is discussed in marriage negotiations. It is whispered about in family gatherings. It is used to assess not just your creditworthiness, but your character. A low CIBIL score is not a financial problem. It is a moral verdict. And TransUnion knows this. The system was imported from the United States, where credit scores affect loan rates. In India, they affect marriage proposals. The behavioral stakes are higher here than anywhere else in the world. And the system was never recalibrated for that reality. Now section 3, the Indian Weaponization. Loan rejection isn't private in India, it's family shame. CIBIL crap becomes a whisper judgment. The bank doesn't need to threaten you, your relatives will do it for them. Every wedding loan, every home loan, every beta score kya hai? Is a trap tightening. The credit score in India functions as a surveillance mechanism that extends beyond the financial institution into the family unit. You are not just being watched by the bank, you are being watched by your community. And the community enforces the bank's standards without the bank paying a single rupee for the enforcement. Psychologists call this social proof weaponization. The system embodies or embeds its values into the culture. The culture then polices its members. The institution remains invisible. Here is a mechanism most borrowers never identify. When your CIBIL score is high, the bank sends you pre-approved offers, credit cards, personal loans, top-up loans. They appear generous. They are not. They are really not that much generous. They are capitalizing on your score while it is high, loading you with credits that will eventually stress your repayment capacity and depress the score they just rewarded. The algorithm celebrates you at 780 so it can profit from you at 720. This is not a conspiracy, it is a business model. The bank needs you anxious. An anxious borrower is a profitable borrower. An anxious borrower accepts higher interest rates because he believes he has no alternatives. An anxious borrower takes insurance he doesn't need because the loan officer suggested it. An anxious borrower never negotiates. A calm borrower is a threat to the bank. Now the forensic pause. If you are recognizing the architecture now, if you can feel the mechanism you couldn't name before, then the second half of this video is the recovery framework. Because understanding the trap is step 1. Step 2 is understanding that you can maintain an excellent credit score without being psychologically captured by it. The forensic psychology of Indian banking is a series. If this diagnostic clarity is valuable, hit subscribe. Yes, we can continue. Now section 4. The hidden variables. What actually moves your score? Before the recovery framework, a forensic audit of what actually determines your CIBIL score. Not the published factors, the behavioral ones underneath them. Variable 1, credit utilization ratio. The published advice says keep it below 30%. The behavioral reality, the algorithm rewards people who use credit sparingly but consistently. Not people who use none at all. A credit card that sits unused for 2 years does not build your score. It makes you invisible. The algorithm rewards visible, controlled usage. Yes, it rewards visible, controlled usage. Psychologically, this means you must use credit to prove you don't need credit. The paradox is deliberate. Now variable number 2, that is credit mix. The published advice says maintain a mix of secured and unsecured loans. The behavioral reality is the algorithm is measuring your institutional trust level. How many different types of lenders have evaluated you and approved you? Each approval is a social proof signal fed back into the algorithm. You are not being scored on your repayment capacity alone. You are being scored on how many other institutions have already scored you favorably. This is circular and it is intentional. Now the variable 3, inquiry frequency. Every time you apply for credit, a hard inquiry hits your score. The published advice says minimize applications. The behavioral reality is the algorithm penalizes you for shopping around. The same behavior that makes you a rational consumer, comparing offers, negotiating terms, makes you a riskier borrower in the algorithm's model. The system punishes the exact behavior that would discipline the market. Now the variable 4, payment history. This is 35% of your score, the largest single factor. The published advice says pay on time. The behavioral reality, the system is designed for you to slip. A single missed payment stays on your report for 3 years. 3 years, the algorithm does not distinguish between deliberate default and a forgotten due date during a family emergency. Both are processed identically. The system has no empathy module. It was never designed to have one. Now the variable number 5, the age of your credit history. The published advice is maintain old accounts. The behavioral reality is this variable locks young Indians out of the system regardless of their financial responsibility. A 23-year-old with perfect repayment habits has a lower score than a 45-year-old with a mediocre record. The algorithm embeds age discrimination that no regulation addresses. Now the recovery framework, that is psychological sovereignty. Principle number 1, separate identity from score. Your CIBIL score is a financial metric. It is not a character assessment. It is not a moral verdict. It is not your worth as a human being. Repeat this until it is automatic. A man whose self-esteem moves with his credit score is not financially literate. He is psychologically captured. Yes, a psychologically captured man. Now, the principle number 2. Check quarterly, not obsessively. Once every 3 months, set a calendar reminder. That's it. The algorithm wants you checking daily because daily checking creates the compulsion loop. The way to break the loop is to reduce the frequency of the reward signal. Your score does not change daily. Your anxiety does not need it to either. Principle 3. Use credit as a tool, not a mirror. The algorithm rewards people who use credit regularly and repay immediately. A single credit card used for one recurring monthly expense paid in full within 24 hours of the statement. This produces the utilization data the algorithm wants without producing the debt spiral the bank wants. The algorithm gets its signal. You keep your sovereignty. Both objectives are served. Now principle number 4. Know what doesn't move the needle. Paying off a loan early does not improve your score significantly. Closing a credit card often reduces your score. It shrinks your credit age and increases your utilization ratio. Checking your own score on an approved platform is a soft inquiry and has zero impact. Most of what Indians do to improve their scores is either ineffective or counterproductive. The algorithm is not intuitive. It was not designed to be. Now the principle number 5. Understand the game without worshipping the scoreboard. A 780 CIBIL score gets you the same loan rates as an 820. The difference between excellent and perfect is psychologically expensive and financially meaningless. The algorithm wants you chasing 850 because the chase itself creates the anxiety that makes you profitable. Stop chasing, hit excellent, then redirect your attention to building wealth, not to curating a number. Now section number 6, what nobody will tell you about credit score improvement. The entire credit score improvement history and the credit score industry is in India sells one product, that is anxiety. We psychologists call it as anxiety. They tell you the score is everything. They tell you one mistake will destroy your financial future. They sell you credit repair services that do what you can do yourself for free. They monetize the very fear the system was designed to produce. Here is a forensic reality. Credit repair agencies cannot remove accurate negative information from your report. They cannot accelerate the 3-year clock on missed repayments. What they can do is dispute errors, and you can do that yourself through the TransUnion and CIBIL portals at zero cost. The entire industry is built on making you feel helpless, so you will pay someone to do something you could do in an afternoon. And the errors are more common than the industry wants you to know. Studies by the Reserve Bank of India's own working groups have found that credit information companies maintain error rates between 1 and 5%. That means between 1 and 5 out of every 100 entries on your report could be wrong. A closed loan still showing as active, a settled account showing as outstanding, a credit card you never applied for showing as an inquiry. The system is not perfect. It is just unaccountable. The most powerful intervention most Indians can make is the simplest. Pull your full credit report once a year from all four bureaus. Not just CIBIL, Experian, Equifax, CRIF, Highmark. Cross-reference them. Dispute every error. One afternoon a year. That single practice does more for your score than any anxiety-driven optimization. Now the architecture of the trap. A good credit score is useful, but a man who panics when it drops 5 points is not financially literate. He is psychologically captured. The CIBIL score was designed for purpose. That purpose was never to protect you. It was to make you trackable, predictable, and controllable. A three-digit number that reduces your entire financial existence into rating, and then convinces you to worship that rating. The algorithm wins when you obsess. You win when you understand the game well enough to stop staring at the scoreboard. The forensic psychology of Indian banking continues. We have covered the CGTMSE system, how banks reject MSME loans not on paperwork but on behavioral assessments. We have now covered the CIBIL architecture, how your credit score was built to control you, not serve you. But there is a trap worse than the CIBIL score. And it begins the moment someone you love asks you to sign one paper, one signature, one relationship, one guarantee, and a legal and psychological trap that destroys families. The guarantee's curse. Yes, that is the guarantee's curse. That one is next. Subscribe. Thank you.